Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Metal video. In this video, we are going to be taking a look. To be honest with you, we're going to be taking a look at the the Gogeta fight. Thank you very much. Had a brief wobble there. We're going to be taking a look at the Gogeta fight and completing the Super Bosses mission. Now, Gogeta is a pretty tough fight. So, I think a lot of people... It's one of the hardest in the game. I think a lot of people find it harder than Beast. I personally find it harder than Beast. I think it throws a lot at you that Beast doesn't. Like Beast, look, he locks you and can potentially super you in the first slot. But generally speaking, the first two phases are, I don't want to say easy, but are so straight line, like in terms of complications, that I think you end up being okay. Because you generally get through the first two phases fine. Gogeta is kind of a little bit of a hot mess. You got a lot of phases, yeah, and they're quick phases. None of the phases are exceptionally tanky, and what that tends to happen is, especially if you bring a high volume team, you end up in a situation where you're just kind of duking it out with the Gogeta. So what ends up happening is basically you bring a team, your team goes super fast, he goes super fast, and you get schlecked. You just get schlecked. You're just racing. You're racing against time. You're just racing against time. And it's also difficult because he throws out AoEs. And AoEs, as everyone knows, are a huge challenge for a team because every unit in your team has to survive the AoE. It's not enough that the unit can simply just take the AoE. It's not enough that they take chip damage from the AoE because they're going to be taking two of them a turn. So it's a bit of a problem. So yeah. Obviously, you start with the AGL, Goku Vegeta. This, I'd probably say the first two phases are very straightforward. AGL, Goku Vegeta, like a 850k super. They seal you, which is a little bit irritating, especially if you have units that need to stack off of super, but nothing too crazy here. You can seal them, so that helps you, but they don't generally last long enough to need a strategy. And the same can be said for the Super Saiyan God Goku SS and the Super Saiyan God Vegeta SS, the blue boys. Same spiel. They just don't generally last long enough for you to worry about. They do a lot more damage though. So there's a big jump between the first phase and the second phase. Not so much in terms of raw output. I mean, they do like 500,000 compared to 300k, but they hit a lot harder on Super. And they still seal you, so it is a big jump up, especially the super attack. Don't get caught out by it. Don't lose yourself early in the run, thinking that the step up's not that big. It is. Then you have Gogeta, so base form Gogeta. So here, Gogeta 2 million super. The big thing with this Gogeta, 650k. He attacks a lot though. I think he fires off like 10 attacks in a turn. He also raises his attack on his super, and that's the big issue with him, is that after his super he hits a lot harder. So you have to be very careful of that and where you place your units. Then you have the Tech Gogeta, Super Saiyan Gogeta. Also fires even more attacks in a turn, very irritating. Also hits harder as well. Very high chance to super. He can super twice per turn, very much. And only 5 attacks apart, so you more than likely are going to get hit twice by a super in a turn. So very, very, very tough to deal with. And then finally, obviously, we have Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta. Very difficult, 12 attacks per turn, 2 AoEs, 3 million super. The AoEs are like 700k each. He also raises his attack. And this is the problem. If he supers before doing his AoEs, so if he supers you, before doing his AoEs become like 1 million because of him massively raising attack. It is a huge, huge, difficult situation to deal with. And that's really what makes him so hard. It is that he is essentially not a super tanky unit, but the functionality of him, the level of output he can do is so hard to deal with. So how do we do that? Well, we run a Super Universe 16. Basically very straightforward. The first phases go by very easy because they count as pure Saiyans, so our girls have a great time. All of them fire all their attacks, they stack, they do everything. You want to push the AGL Kale, you want to push the Strength Kefla off a rotation right up until you get to around about the Strength Gogeta or even the Tech Super Saiyan Gogeta phase. Like, you just don't need them till then, and you need to just stack. You need AGL Kale and Caulifla to stack, you need Strength Kale to stack, you need Tech Caulifla to stack a little bit, you need the Int Caulifla to stack a little bit. Look, we're relying on evasion ultimately at the end of the day to get through a lot of this. But having them stack and make sure that they're sitting at like a 400, 500k threshold helps a lot, especially when bosses are throwing out normals that are 600k, 700k, 800k. You're going to need it, because if you do get chipped, if you do somehow lose the evasion roll, you know you're going to need that little bit of defense. Caulifla, Tech Caulifla, obviously great right in the beginning, automatic dodge, but the moment you start facing Gogetas, her automatic dodge is going to go away. Still going to dodge a lot, because remember, your whole team is like Universe 6, Pepper Gals, Pure Saiyans based. So she still has like something like an 86 or 92% evasion rate or whatever, but she just doesn't have her guaranteed evasion. So you just have to be a little bit careful of that. But yeah, basically how it works is, so we take a friend UI Goku, we transform that UI Goku in the Tech phase. You'll be like, oh, why in the Tech phase? Because you want to one-turn the Tech phase. You want to one-turn the Tech phase with UI Goku, have a Whis up, go into your next turn, activate your second Whis, so you've got like 80% damage reduction, do whatever damage you can there, and then the turn after you have UI Goku and Kefla incinerate Gogeta and you walk away, and you win. That's it. That's as good as it gets. That is the ultimate strategy. One turn Tech Gogeta with Tech UI and Kefla. Immediately pop the Whis again to double up damage reduction in your first turn with the Kale, Caulifla, whatever unit you got in the other rotation. They will then live by the grace of God, and afterwards you enter into your turn with UI Goku again, and he does this. So he does this, and then Kefla finishes up the rest, and Kefla will finish up the rest, especially with the boost from the super attack of Tech UI Goku. Not only will she finish it up, she'll wrap it up with ease. She's gonna rack it and stack it. So it's really I want to say, the primary way of beating this event. Everyone else is just there to essentially not die. Okay, so every single other person is there to not die. Strength Kale, there to not die. Tech Caulifla, there to not die. AGL Kale, off rotation, there to not die. Int Caulifla, stack early on, push off rotation, there to not die. AGL Kale and Caulifla, stacking, there to not die. Like, it is an evasion based team as well, so you're going to have that run where everything goes perfectly fine, and some of you will, if you use this team, finish it in your very first attempt. Then there's also going to be that poor unlucky guy who's 86% Caulifla doesn't dodge for 5 runs in a row, and you may have to reset. It is one of those things, unfortunately. But generally speaking, I found it was pretty good. It consistently got near the end, and yeah, I got this done, I think, within 4 tries. So it really was just more down to the Int Caulifla for me, because she's a War Tournament unit. But you can adjust accordingly if you want to. If you have your own Tech UI, run 2 of them, and I think you probably come out fine. So yeah, bye.